So it discusses the muscles, the extraocular muscles and the nerve supplying them. When we say extraocular muscles, that means there are intraocular muscles also. Intraocular muscles are the muscles of the iris ciliary body. We change the shape of the iris. Extraocular muscles means they are attached to the eyeball from outside. Okay? So that is the extraocular muscle. So suppose this is the eyeball. Okay? And this is the medial side, this is the lateral side, so this is like this. The nose will be here. So there are muscles like this. There are muscles on firstly, there are four muscles which are straight called as a recti. So it's like this. They are superior rectus, medial rectus, lateral rectus, inferior rectus. And here is the eyeball. Okay? Superior rectus, medial rectus, lateral rectus, and inferior rectus. Apart from these two recti, there are two obliques. This is superior oblique and this is inferior oblique. Superior oblique and inferior oblique. Okay, so there are 6 muscles in total. These muscles, if you see their origin and insertion is behind the limbus. What is limbus? Where the black and the white portion of the eye meet. The cornea and sclera meet, that is the limbus. So approximately 5 millimeters, 6 millimeters behind that they are attached. Okay, each has a specific distance. So we cannot see them so easily, but in dissection you will be able to see. Okay, so they are attached to the limbus. So suppose this is the eye and this is the cornea, so they are attached like this. Okay, and what is their origin? You have studied the skull. In the skull there is the superior orbital fissure which separates the greater and lesser wing of sternum. And attached to the superior orbital fissure running through the superior orbital fissure running through the superior orbital fissure is a musculotendinous ring of Zinn, Z-I-double. And there we see the lateral rectus, the inferior rectus, lateral rectus, medial rectus, and superior rectus. They take origin like this. Okay? From this musculotendinous ring of Zinn, so they take origin and they come ahead and get attached behind the limbus. While the superior oblique will take origin from the sphenoid, inferior oblique from the maxilla. So these are the 6 extraocular muscles. 4 like this and 2 going like this, one from above and one from below. SO4, LR6. Superior oblique is supplied by the 4th cranial nerve, trochlear. Lateral rectus is supplied by the 6th cranial nerve, SO4, LR6. Remaining all are supplied by the 3rd cranial nerve. Remaining are supplied by the 3rd cranial nerve. Inferior oblique, inferior rectus, medial rectus, superior rectus are supplied by the 3rd cranial nerve, oculomotor. SO4, LR6. Okay. Now let us see the actions. Let us see the actions of these muscles. To learn the actions of these muscles, let us draw an eyeball. Okay, so this is also an eyeball of the other side. Action of the medial rectus is like this. So when both the medial rectus contract together, this is what happens. So medial rectus turns the eye medially. Medial rectus turns the eye, while the action of the lateral rectus is this. So actually when I look there, this side lateral rectus, this side medial rectus is contracting. When I look here, this side lateral rectus and this eye is medial rectus is contracting. Now the superior rectus has these actions. The superior rectus, superior rectus has these actions. Superior rectus, again turning medially also, and intorsion, inward turning of the eye, intorsion. Okay? Inferior rectus actions are downward movement of the eyeball, medial movement of the eyeball, and extorsion. Eyeball moving like this, extorsion. Okay? So moving in clockwise direction, intorsion, anti-clockwise is extorsion. Now we may expect superior oblique here, but superior oblique is here and inferior oblique is here. So what is action of superior oblique? Downward movement, lateral movement and intorsion. Inferior oblique, lateral movement, upward movement and extorsion. So actions are clear of the oblique and the recta. Okay? These all muscles, they develop from pre-occipital somites, and therefore they are supplied by cranial nerves, which will have a component called as general somatic efferent. General somatic efferent. Okay? So should I have this? Any difficulty? Any difficulty? So now let's start writing the information about the third, fourth and the sixth cranial nerve. Third, fourth and sixth cranial nerves. Okay? Firstly, writing about the functional components. General somatic efferent. Okay? General somatic efferent. Third now has one extra component. Okay, general somatic efferent. Some book also talk about general somatic afferent. That is for the proprioception of this muscle. Efferent is for the supply of the muscle. Afferent is for the proprioception. Third nerve also supplies the muscles of the iris. Parasympathetic supply, because it supplies parasympathetic, gives parasympathetic outflow. Between third nerve we have one additional general visceral efferent for the iris. General visceral efferent. So third nerve has one additional. Otherwise, all of them have general somatic efferent. Okay. So now, where are the nuclei located? Nuclei, where are they located? Third nerve nucleus is located at the level of superior colliculus. Fourth nerve is located at the level of inferior colliculus. Sixth nerve is located at the inferior section of pons. Inferior section of pons. So if you see the midbrain section, in between is the grey matter. In the grey matter is third nerve nucleus and Edinger-Westphal nucleus. Okay. So there are two nuclei. Third, oculomotor nucleus plus Edinger-Westphal nucleus. This only has trochlear nucleus. This only has abducent nucleus. Now what happens in case of the fourth nerve? In case of the fourth nerve, when the trochlear nucleus is here at the level of inferior colliculus, and these fibers, they crisscross, decussate, they decussate. Only nerve which decussates only nerve where origin is from the posterior aspect. While third nerve will come like this. All the nerves come on the anterior aspect. This is the only nerve which comes from the posterior aspect of the brain stem, trochlear. Only now coming from the posterior aspect of brain stem. Okay? So now where do they appear? So this is the level of nuclei. Okay? Maybe you can keep these diagrams like this. The sixth nerve, this is basilar part of pons. Sixth nerve is there behind. Now comes out like this. Sixth at the level of pons. This is basilar pons, and this is the sixth nerve nucleus. Seventh nerve nucleus is here. It comes out of the lateral edge. 7. So 6 is here. This is 7. So site on the brain stem. Where do they appear on the brainstem? So we have this typical diagram of the brainstem where we show, right, pons, medulla. So third nerve comes on the side of the crus. Fourth nerve, only nerve comes from the posterior aspect. Sixth nerve comes from the junction of pons and medulla. Is it clear? So where does the third nerve come on the brainstem? Side of crus cerebri. Then fourth nerve from the posterior aspect. Fourth nerve from the posterior aspect of midbrain. Sixth nerve at the junction of pons and medulla. at the junction of pons and medulla. Okay? Now after this they enter cisterns. What are cisterns? Cisterns are dilatation of subarachnoid spaces. Cisterns are dilatation of subarachnoid spaces. The subarachnoid space where there is CSF. Right? So at places it dilates. So there is an interpeduncular system. This is crus of the midbrain, there is optic chiasma. So here there is an interpeduncular system. So the third nerve enters the interpeduncular system. The fourth nerve goes by the side of the interpeduncular system. The sixth nerve, actually here is a basilar artery. And there is a system for this basilar artery called as basilar system. So third nerve enters interpeduncular system. Third nerve enters interpeduncular system. The fourth nerve also goes by the side of interpeduncular system. The sixth nerve goes through basilar system. Basilar system is the dilatation of the subarachnoid space for basilar artery. Why I have made a table of all of them? Because they have in common. Then general somatic different, general somatic different. Superior colliculus, inferior colliculus, lower pons. Side of crus, posterior aspect of brainstem, junction of pons and medulla. Interpeduncular system, basilar system. Okay. Now we continue the table, but you have to rub some portion. Now let us see what happens beyond the interpeduncular system. Beyond the interpeduncular system, all of them enter the cavernous sinus. Cavernous sinus. They enter the cavernous sinus. So, suppose this is the cavernous sinus. In the lateral wall of the cavernous sinus is the third nerve, fourth nerve, ophthalmic, maxillary, and here is sixth nerve. In the medial wall, this is lateral wall of cavernous sinus. Cavernous sinus, inside the brain, there are dural venous sinuses for the drainage of the venous blood from the brain. This brain forms sinuses, and there is an important sinus on the both the sides of sella turcica, cavernous sinus. So there are two cavernous sinuses. There is another cavernous sinus like this. Okay, in between is pineal gland. On both the sides of the pineal gland, this cavernous sinus is there. Okay. So the sixth nerve is there in the medial wall, and third and fourth nerve are there in the lateral wall of the cavernous sinus. So let us see, after passing through the interpeduncular system, they pass through the cavernous sinus, lateral wall, sixth nerve, medial wall. Okay? Lateral wall and medial wall. Okay, again I am going to make a flow chart for you, but firstly you understand this. From cavernous sinus they pass through the superior orbital fissure. From cavernous sinus they go to the superior orbital fissure. Again I draw a diagram of superior orbital fissure for all of you. This is superior orbital fissure. This is musculotendinous ring of Zinn, which divides the superior orbital fissure into medial, intermediate and lateral part. In the lateral part there are nerves L, F, T, lacrimal, frontal, trochlear. Our area of interest currently is this. In between there is two divisions of oculomotor, nasociliary and occlusal. So O-N-A, oculomotor, nasociliary, occlusal. Our interest is oculomotor. We don't want to see what is there on the medial aspect. So now they pass through the superior orbital fissure. Now where does the oculomotor pass? Intermediate part of the superior orbital fissure, right? From where does the fourth nerve pass? Lateral part of the superior orbital fissure. From where does the sixth nerve pass? Intermediate part of superior orbital fissure. Is it clear? Superior orbital fissure is divided by musculotendinous ring of Zinn into medial, intermediate and lateral part. From the lateral part L, F, T, so trochlear. In the intermediate part, oculomotor, A-N-O, abducent, nasociliary, oculomotor. So they pass through the intermediate part, this passes through the lateral part. After that what happens? They enter the orbit. So intraorbital course. This divides into superior and inferior branch. Superior branch goes and supplies the superior rectus. Inferior branch and mandibula palpebris superioris. Inferior branch goes and supplies inferior oblique, inferior rectus and medial rectus. Now inferior oblique also gives branch to the ciliary ganglion from where the iris is supplied. Okay? SO4. Fourth nerve will supply SO. And sixth nerve will supply LR, lateral rectus, superior oblique. Well, this divides into superior and inferior division. Superior division supplies superior rectus and levator palpebris superioris, which elevates the eyelid. This supplies inferior rectus, inferior oblique, inferior branch and medial rectus. Now to inferior oblique also gives a branch to ciliary ganglion. Ciliary ganglion will supply the muscles of the iris. It supplies the muscles of the iris. What is the applied anatomy of these nerves? What will you write? If there is damage to the third nerve, there will be lateral squint. See, normally medial rectus, lateral rectus, they maintain a balance. If medial rectus is paralyzed, eye goes lateral. So lateral squint. If sixth nerve is paralyzed, there will be medial squint. Okay, so this is how we identify based on the squint. Medial squint means lateral rectus is paralyzed. Lateral squint means medial rectus is paralyzed. Means third nerve there is damage. Okay. Now, after this diagram, we will fast revise and summarize today's class. Okay. We started with the description. Now I am going to write in a vertical way. We started with the general components of the third nerve. What were the components of the third nerve? General somatic efferent, general somatic afferent, and general visceral efferent, and general visceral efferent. These were for the muscles, and this was for muscles of the iris and ciliary body. Right? Where was the nucleus situated? At the level of superior cortex. What was the nucleus? oculomotor nucleus and aiding the respiratory. At the level of superior colliculus, from where did it come out? Side of crest. Then where did it go? It went into interpeduncular system. Then where did it go? Cavernous sinus. Where in the cavernous sinus? Lateral wall. Then where did it go? Superior orbital fissure. Which part? Intermediate one. Then where did it go? Orbit. In the orbit, what happened? It divided into superior and inferior branch. Superior branch supplied superior rectus and levator pulmonary superiorus. Inferior branch supplied inferior rectus, medial rectus and inferior oblique, which gave a branch to the ciliary ganglion, which gave a branch to the muscles of the iris. Clear? Third now? Now we talk about the fourth nerve. Inferior colliculus, trochlear nucleus. It came from the posterior part of the brain stem. Came out from the posterior part of the brain stem, right? Then went by the side of the interpeduncular system. It did enter the interpeduncular system, but went by the side of the interpeduncular system. Then goes to cavernous sinus. Where on the cavernous sinus? Where in the cavernous sinus? Lateral wall, right? After that, where does it go? Superior orbital fissure. Where is the superior orbital fissure? Lateral wall, lateral part of the superior orbital fissure. Okay? Then it enters the orbit and supplied SO4. It supplied superior oblique muscle. Now the sixth nerve. Where was the nucleus? At the level of lower pons, right? Abducent nucleus. Where did it come out? Junction of pons and middle. From there, where did it go? Basilar system. Then where did it go? Superior orbital fissure. Which part? Intermediate part. From there, where did it go? Orbit. What did it supply in the orbit? Lateral rectus. That is all about the third, fourth and the sixth cranial nerve.